Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Matt. Today I want to talk about building a habit when learning a language. Along with goals, this is really one of the most important things that you can do when learning a foreign language. And a lot of language learning, in my opinion, is about consistency, steady and slow progress towards your goal of fluency or competency. And one of the best ways to kind of help ensure that you're going to get really good at a language or have a lot of fun is having a nice consistent routine and a habit learning a language. So, how long does it take to build a habit, right? Well, if you read some of the literature out there or just some of my personal experience, it takes about 3 weeks or roughly 21 days. Now, this might vary from person to person, but I think it's like a rough, good rule of thumb to use, right? And to be honest with you, you don't really need to do language learning every single day. We don't need to think about it from that idea, right? You could do language learning a certain amount of time every single week. The idea behind this is consistency. We want to get comfortable with doing language learning every single day. We want to build that muscle up where we're comfortable feeling overwhelmed, we're comfortable absorbing material, and getting used to just this idea of investing time in our day doing language learning. So I think that's really the main core idea there. So how do you approach this? Well, I think that, the best way, in my opinion at least, is to start out small, right? Start out with a very manageable goal that you're consistently doing every single day or every week, right? For simplicity's sake, I'm going to just assume that we're going to do this every single day. You don't have to. It could be a weekly goal, but let's just do a daily goal, right? So let's say that we commit to doing 15 minutes of language learning every single day or 30 minutes. Now, you might be wondering, right? Well, that seems like a very low goal, right? Maybe I want to have a very ambitious goal. Why can't I just have an ambitious goal? Well, the thing about it is I would stray away from that because, I think the thing to focus in on is consistency. And when you have a very ambitious goal, it's very easy to miss that target. And when you're missing that target, it then becomes okay to miss the target. So, for example, let's say you have a 3 hour a day goal with language learning, and you hit it the first day, but then the second day you only get 30 minutes in, and then the next day 2 hours in, and then none at all, and 30 minutes, and so then you've kind of normalized the idea of failing the language learning goal. It's okay to fail, and we want consistency, right? There's no reason why, after you've gotten that habit, you can't ramp it up and do more each day. But when you kind of have that sporadic nature, you're kind of relying on motivation at some point. And it becomes okay to not meet those targets. And ultimately, when you're building a habit, I don't think that's the best, right? Focus in on the consistency. Like I said, you can always ramp it up later and kind of go from there. I think the second thing to think about when trying to establish a language learning habit is be very disciplined. And like I said, that's why we've kind of aimed for a really low target, is because we want to make sure we hit that every single day, right? Be very committed, very dedicated to hitting that target every single day, no matter what. And there's a couple of things you can do to kind of help reduce the risk of you missing, right? Try to do language learning early on in the day, or your targets early on in the day, right? Because later on, things might pop up. You might be tired or whatever else happens, and then you miss your goal, right? If you do it early on in the day, you kind of minimize the risk that you're not going to meet that target for the day. And also, chances are you'll be a little bit more fresh, so that'll be kind of another advantage as well. Also, try to come up with a game plan before building the habit, right? Determine what you're going to work on specifically or when you're going to do it, right? Because if you have that clarity, it's going to kind of give you that onus to do those specific things as part of your habit, right? And you're not going to just be sitting there for 5 minutes going, do I read? Do I listen? Do I pick up new words? Kind of try to have that outline before you even get started, because you'll thank yourself later. Because it's nice to kind of have that game plan going in before just tackling language learning for the day. And once you kind of do all these things for roughly 3 weeks, you'll kind of notice a couple of things. I think the first thing is that the idea of language learning will become a lot easier, right? At first, you might feel like I got to do language learning right now. This sucks. I don't want to do this. But after doing it consistently every day for 3 weeks, it feels normal, right? It feels normal investing that time in your day to language learning. You have gotten more comfortable feeling overwhelmed or confused with the language. You've gotten more just comfortable and used to how to study or how to just be involved with the language. And chances are too, if you've actually been consistent for that time period, you've probably made a lot of progress and a lot of gains, and that's going to fuel your motivation and make you want to do more language learning. And you're going to feel good after that kind of 21 day habit and routine. And then after that, like I said, you have this consistency, this routine that you can then apply for the long term, right? And that means steady progress. And steady progress is ultimately mean you're going to get good at the language probably a lot quicker than if you just relied on motivation or whenever you're just feeling it. So, definitely really consider building a habit if you're just starting out or wherever you are in the language learning process. That consistency is really, really, really big. And I think it's something that a lot of people neglect. It can really help you to take your language learning to the next level and also just, make more progress, which ultimately will allow you to have just more fun in the language and do more fun and compelling things. So let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.